you hit the button and you cross your fingers. And hopefully it works this time. It works! Oh my gosh, it works! Okay, here we go. Greetings, humans, greetings! And welcome back, or welcome to, I guess I should say, another fun-filled episode. Actually, a very delayed, a very delayed episode here. Hey, what's our 2-year anniversary on here? I mean, a lot of people said, you know what, there cannot be bears on YouTube. Why would anybody want to watch a bear on YouTube? I don't know. Well, here we are. After 2 years, we finally got it done. You know, there's a lot of, Bear kind of saw a bunch of cat videos out there. Seeing all the cat videos, he's like, okay, well, why cat videos? Why not bear videos? So, I really haven't done that well as far as cat videos, they get millions of views. Bear gets, a decent amount of views there. But I tell you what, it needs, you know what? I think maybe Bear should have like a sidekick of a cat, that he can kind of have there and pets along the way and say, oh, look at the kitty cat. And, it'd be kind of, I don't know, kind of maybe a buddy comedy, I suppose, a bear and the cat. I mean, that would be kind of interesting there. But at any rate, we finally, gosh, I tell you what, Bear doesn't do this very often, but he does have to apologize to everybody out there. We're trying to do this, I think, last week, the week before. Oh my gosh, it's been a while trying to get this live thing going here. Sometimes it works out in the woods. Sometimes it doesn't work out in the woods. You never know. We've actually had some bad thunderstorms kind of coming through lately. So sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Sometimes, the neighbor happens to change the password on Bear, and he's got to kind of figure it out. 12345 is. I think that's an easy enough password to be able to kind of figure out. So Bear finally gets it and is able to get on the stream and get to you folks here. So it's good to have you here. Good to have P Money here. Thank you. He says happy Bear anniversary. Bear anniversary? Burniversary. I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hey, you know what? We couldn't have done it. Without you great people here, so you gotta appreciate that. We kind of started. Let me just kind of reverse back here and kind of get from the very beginning of Bear's adventures on YouTube. I went to go start right away, and what was the first thing that happened was the whole what was it? Not Vox Day, Vox Adpocalypse. They had that thing going on with the whole Crowder thing going on where they booted him off there. So Bear's first introduction to YouTube was basically when they were all trying to burn it down at the same time there. So that was kind of an interesting start to it. Then we got the interesting stuff with the Pride anniversary month and the whole Mike Miller situation and everything there. There was kind of a very interesting, inglorious start to Bear's time here on YouTube. But you know what? We made it through, actually. So couldn't have done it without you and everything. So do appreciate that. And Bear kind of it's a little bit, I suppose, a little bit like Bear went to film school. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, if you go back and you look at some of the very first couple of videos that Bear did, actually kind of coincided it with the second Graveyard Shift release there, so kind of coincided with that and everything. Some very Bear looks back on it, some very terrible videos there, but hey, you know what? We've kind of come a long way since then. I mean, now Bear's shooting in HDR videos and doing all these other crazy stuff, so it's pretty good. P Money says nobody will ever figure out that my Wi-Fi password is password. Well, you need to put 12345 on the end of there just to kind of liven it up there. Just a little bit there. But, it's been kind of an interesting thing. I mean, Bear kind of very, not a very comics animal, I suppose, out there. Didn't really have any, relations to comics or anything like that. So he does appreciate everybody kind of welcoming him in and everything. But kind of got the start with Comicsgate. Checking out. At the time, it was this brand new campaign that people were kind of talking about around the edges there. It's called Jawbreakers. With this boy Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach there, and P Money asks, what was your first unboxing video? The very first video that Bear, I think it was the first video that Bear did. It was Oodles of Doodles from RT Bear. Actually, Bear got it in, and it had the little Hack Shack Studios on there. Bear actually thought it was Hack Snack Studios, and kind of tore right on into it. Expected a whole bunch of salmon, and actually got just Oodles of Doodles instead. Very nice book from RT Bear, kind of as a what would you call that? Kind of a retrospective on some of his work there. So you got a lot of the Superman, or I think he had Spider-Man in there, if I'm not mistaken. Wonder Woman, Superman. A number of good stuff that he had there. So that was the first book that Bear did as a box opening. I probably got in. I think the very first one that Bear got in was it was Trump Space Force from oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank here, but anyways, the Trump Space Force book, but actually the very first comic that Bear had actually ever with little Timmy McTimerson, I should say, actually got was Lone Star. Was checking out Jawbreakers, and let's see. P Money says Jawbreakers was the first non-DC Marvel comic I ever bought. Well, somebody coming in from kind of a sort of very brand new perspective, not really knowing anything about comics, and not really knowing anything about Indiegogo or the crowdfunding situation. Oh boy, there's a whole. Boy, I tell you what, the whole controversy there with Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Might get into that just a little bit. You've heard probably everybody else talking about it, but you know what? Really haven't put Bear's stamp on there. But Jawbreakers. It was kind of loose. Wasn't really sure what was going on with Indiegogo there. I think. Remember way back when campaigns just ran like 30 or 60 days? I mean, instead of like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So, was interested in Jawbreakers, but didn't actually get it the very first time. And then they came out with this thing called Cyberfrog. Never heard of Cyberfrog or Uncle E or anything like that, but started watching. Wasn't even really into YouTube that much, so I started to get a little bit more into it, and still had a little bit of little tough time trying to figure out Indiegogo. I think at the time they weren't accepting Apple Pay, so little Timmy McTimerson wanted to have a little bit of a extra little bit of security in there. So I think the first Cyberfrog, way back when it only went for 60 days, that kind of ended. Bear was trying to get into it, but didn't get the first Cyberfrog. So the very first one that Bear got was purchased was Lone Star from Mike Miller. So there you go. I mean, very first thing. And now look, I mean, we're waiting, but he's already come out with Lone Star 3. So I mean, I tell you what, in that period, I mean, some artists are very prolific, and can put out books, and other artists, the same period might have only put out, a book, or a book here or a book there or something like that. So it's kind of interesting to kind of look back on some of that stuff and kind of see where everybody's coming from. Oh, speaking of which, let me click on this real quick since we were talking about Mike Miller here for just a second. Bear got in the second Lone Star, and they had some cards that went with that, and was trying to get Kanan White to do the card on there. The campaign came and went. Never really heard anything about the cards, and again, nothing against Kanan, nothing against Mike or anything like that. But long story short, after quite a while, Bear finally got in touch with Mike there. Very good. One of the things about Comicsgate is, I wouldn't say everybody, but more or less on a uniform basis there. A lot of great customer service there. So Bear actually got in a couple of things the other day from him. Since P Money's here, I'll go ahead and show him the. I think I've already showed this to you, P Money, but or no, that was on the video. I never got to show that live here. So let me do this. The Cara Dune looking very good there. Bear actually got this professionally scanned in, so I think go ahead and do some more of these pieces of artwork where we can kind of show that off and everything. So to conclude the story here, some very good customer service from Mike there. He says, "Hey, I've got a little bit of time here in between projects. If it's okay." I think Kanan was really busy, or he got on to something. They're still doing. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what's going on with the whole Dame Drops thing, but anyways, he was very nice enough to say, hey, I'll go ahead and draw those for you if that's okay. And Bear says, hey, that's fine. So gotta give a shout out to Mike, but yeah, got in this. I got in another piece here. Let me click on it. There we go. A nice little Chun-Li fighting. I'm still trying to figure out who the other character is. Bear was a Street Fighter 2. Didn't really play too much of Street Fighter 3. Excuse me. Bear had some barbecue earlier, so I tell you what. P-Money says, I only started watching comic YouTubers because I knew who EVS was from his DC Comics. And there you go. And EVS introduced me to your boy Zach. Yes, there you go. So, again, not coming from the comics world, Bear kind of took a little bit different. And I think at the time, Uncle E was really known for his Star Wars videos. In fact, I think one of them got took down because he was doing the one where, what was it? He was chopping off the head of one of the characters or setting it on fire or something like that. So it was, yeah, that was, he was kind of a little bit more known for that, more than what was, at least kind of in a general audience thing. And kind of used that to parlay. So, yeah, came in, heard about your boy Zach and everything. There has nothing, your boy, in fact, got in, I'll have to show it here a little bit later, but got in 499 the other day, so that's what they're calling a Narzak joint. I mean, heck, 2 years ago, nobody even knew about Narwhal, and now look at him. So, P-Money says, yes, I've seen that Gina Carano, and I'm happy to see it again. All right, well, let's go ahead. There's Chun-Li. There we go. There she is. I kind of like the little baby Yoda there, kind of looking up as like, what the heck's going on here? So yeah, that came in really good. I wish I could. I don't know if I could zoom this in or anything like that, but yeah, it came in really great. If you go and check out that video, I think I have it a little bit bigger in the videos. So really great work, really good job, Mike. I really do appreciate that, and I wish that he would kind of bring back some of the auction stuff, because Bear actually got this off of the auction, and actually got the let me see if I can find him here. Sorry, P-Money, I'm going to take this off for just a second. Actually got if I recall correctly, it might have been on Kevin Sharp's channel here, but what they were calling the thick chicks. So I got that in as well. On the smaller, I forget the size, but on the kind of smaller card there. So, anyways, gotta send a shout out to Mike Miller. Appreciate that, and looking forward to the Lone Star cards coming out there. So there we go. I'll go ahead and put it back on. Cardoon there. Just for P-Money. Just for P-Money. Normally Bear wouldn't put it on there, kind of moving along. But hey, that's what we have anniversary streams for here. So there you go. Alright, there you go. There's Mike Miller. Actually, we're going to be let me pardon Bear here for a second. He turns on his lights here so you can see. Click it there and do the thing with the thing, because actually we've got it's actually been quite a while. Bear actually hasn't had very many two books come in at the same time, and then now he's actually got 499 in as well. Oops, why is it not doing it? Let's see. View capture. There it is. There it is. Talking about gonna be doing kind of a head-to-head here between Titan and Starblades. Starblades. Gotta say that like a pirate. Yar! Yar, Starblades. So, anyways, got that in the other day. Got in nice little bit of Titan there. Some good stuff from Gary Shipman. Actually, looks like he's going to put it out Titan 3 here pretty quickly. So, that's pretty cool. And then also got Starblades. So, have been wanting to do one of the head-to-head situations. It's been a while, and they kind of came in together, or kind of came in pretty close. Actually, yeah, they actually did came in together. Um, so one to kind of put him ahead to didn't realize. I didn't realize. I mean, was kind of subconscious, I suppose. But you got Gary Shipman with his black and white art style, and then you've got Kyle Ritter with his very colorful. Very colorful star blades there, so it's going to be kind of a black and white versus color. I don't know if I should say that on YouTube, but anyways, two different artists here going head to head. We're gonna find out who is Bear's pick in the end. So that'll be coming up. P-Money says, because of shipping costs, I told Mike to put my original drawing of his with my Lone Star package whenever that is finally shipping. I'm assuming that's the third Lone Star. So, gosh, I think he has, is it coloring or something? Bear didn't get into it with Mike or anything like that, but it sounded like he was pretty well done with his kind of workload and was kind of waiting on some other folks. Maybe it was a letterer, maybe it was colorist. I forget exactly which, but yeah, hopefully it will get across the border for P money there. Yes, indeed. He also says I got three original Gary drawings added to my Titan package. I gave one each to my wife and kid, and I'm not sure. Let me double check here. Bear with Bear here. I'm sure if this one has the drawing in there. No, it doesn't. Where is that? Gosh. Where is that drawing? Do I have it? I might have it. I have to search for it. You can see it on one of his videos there, but it's just the signature there from Gary. But yeah, he did a great job with put that back there. Hopefully it'll stay. You saw you saw a little bit behind the scenes there where I didn't have another stand, so I've got a little light that's back there that's holding up the book. Shh, don't tell nobody. Let's see. I got three original Gary drawings and added them in my Titan package, and gave each one to my wife and kids. There we go. There you are. So there you go. Pretty cool stuff. Very cool. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Actually, I kind of wanted to. Just to start off the show here real quick, since we're kind of promoting some different stuff here, a little bit out of the comics gate or comics realm. Do lanterns make good comic stands? Yeah, apparently this one does. At least for Titan, it does. So went out and checked out a movie the other day. So if you guys are wanting to look for some movies or something like that, a little bit more. I don't know if it's rated R or not. I have to double check, but it was a pretty cool one. It was called let me see if I can find it here. Wrath of Man. There we go. Jason Statham. Pretty cool movie there. The alternate title could have been Toxic Masculinity, the movie. Kind of a sort of movie that you're not going to see too much these days. Jason Statham kind of plays well, I don't want to spoil the movie here, but he plays a what do you call those? The armored car, kind of an armored car a guard, I guess. I think they're guards for an armored car company, and has a past with the armored car company. Apparently, got involved with shooting, and I don't think I'll be ruining the movie here, but ends up his son dies, so he's trying to find out the killers and all this other stuff. So a very good movie. Let me see if I can click on it. There he is. There he is as a bank guard or a armored car sort of deal. So if you like the old Guy Ritchie movies, Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I think is the name of it. Yeah, kind of a classic return to some of that stuff. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I liked it. It split it up a little bit. There he is, and kind of the talking to some of the people there. Kind of split up in kind of three different. They kind of show the original robbery kind of from three different angles. So it's a little bit kind of like a Guy Ritchie movie, kind of split up with a kind of like Pulp Fiction, I suppose, where they kind of play with the timeline just a little bit. So very basic movie in a good way. Just kind of the basic story. It was really, I hope I'm not spoiling this, but it wasn't. There he is. He's actually a. Well, I won't spoil the movie, but he's not who you think he is or anything like that. So, but it was nice to see that I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but it was nice to see that the armored car company was just an armored car company, and they were just trying to get, you know, trying to get money from one spot to the other. And, a lot of these movies, it's always the corporation that's the big bad guy. They bring in oh, we're the good corporation. Then you find out the end of the bad guys and everything. So, very good, very good. I definitely would recommend. Let me click back on it here. Definitely would recommend that movie called Wrath of Man with Jason Statham. If you kind of like some of the sort of action, mobster type movies, that sort of stuff. If you've liked, the Pulp Fiction or some of his older stuff from Guy Ritchie, you definitely enjoy that. Oh, P Money says he finally saw the 12.5 hour Snyder cut last night. I hope you got a little bit of sleep there. I think it's like 12 and a half, 13 hours long. Um, uh, Bear saw, Bear wasted his time with Batman versus Superman. Martha! And that was just terrible. And they says, oh no, you got to see the director's cut of Batman versus. It's like 5 hours long. You gotta go check out the 5 hour long version of Batman vs Superman. It was like, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time on that. So yeah, Bear never caught the Justice League movie. Didn't really. I think I've seen it kind of maybe on cable or something like that. A couple minutes of it with the. Oh, who was it? Who was the other guy? The male feminist. Who am I trying to think of? The guy from the Avengers. Oh gosh, the director. The guy who did Firefly. Anyways, that guy kind of came in and the best part. Oh man, the best part. And another movie that Bear would recommend would be Mission Impossible Fallout. Um, just for Henry Cavill's mustache in there, because they brought him back for Batman versus Superman, but he still had to have the mustache in that. So they had to like digitally remove the mustache and everything. I think Superman with a huge honking mustache, especially if it's like an evil Superman, I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Anyways, never saw the Snyder cut. Don't really care. That kind of gets into the sort of. I don't know if we want to get into the whole controversy, the controversy between Indiegogo and Kickstarter there. So, Joss Whedon, thank you very much. Trying to put Josh Whedon out of my mind. The guy's kind of how do I put this in a family friendly way? Not a good guy. He's not a good guy. Let's just put it that way. Male feminist. I think if you look up male feminist, you kind of figure that out. Does Jason Statham have any expressions or just the one? No, it was. No, it's very much just Jason Statham growling at people or scowling at people, and it's great. It's great. I mean, I don't want to see a Jason Statham happy-go-lucky Jason Statham. No, no. It's Jason Statham. Kind of peak guy there. Like I said, toxic masculinity. The movie. You're not gonna find too much of that these days. So yeah. Anyway, let me get this off of there because we actually have other things to talk about, like I guess the 2 year anniversary. But I don't know. Do we? Let me take a reading of the chat here if we want to talk about the Kickstarter controversy and everything. A lot of people have kind of put in their word and everything, and I think they're missing a huge chunk of what's going on with that. I think it's a lot of a creator based. It was kind of a creator based controversy. I guess if people don't know, I'll kind of generally talk about it real quick. If we wanna get into it a little bit further, we can. Let me get off these headphones. They're in the way. So there was a number of people that decided to go over to Kickstarter to try and figure out if, maybe if there was an additional audience over there to, sell books to and everything. And that caused a little bit of an issue with some of the older kind of comics. Pardon me, let me, like I said, barbecue some kind of, the pig. So there's a little bit of controversy there with some of the old. Do we call them old timer? Some of the original Comicsgate people saying, "Hey, no, we just want to stay on Indiegogo. We don't want to go over to Kickstarter or anything like that." And it's kind of one of these things where it's like, I thought we kind of figured this out a year ago, 2 years ago. Why are we even talking about this? This doesn't make any sense at all. Um, P-Money kind of basically says what Bear needs to say here. Who cares if someone uses Kickstarter or Indiegogo or both? Well, to play devil's advocate for just a second, you had we were talking about Jawbreakers. So they had Jawbreakers was going to come out on Kickstarter. Kickstarter decided that your boy Zach was in a hat group. He loves the hats. He was in a hat group, so they decided, no, we're not going to put on Jawbreakers on our site. You've been officially canceled from our culture. So they decided, hey, well, let's go ahead and try out this other crowdfunding platform called Indiegogo. So they kind of came over to that. That's what Bear kind of he understood what Kickstarter was at the time, but wasn't a member or active or anything like that. Kickstarter was kind of a verb, I guess, for just crowdfunding. Everybody kind of knew Kickstarter was the crowdfunding site. So trying to figure out what Indiegogo was at the time. What was this new thing, Indiegogo, that they were talking about? So your boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer, went over to Indiegogo along with John Malin and made a go of it there. Did a great job. A number of people saw that, including Uncle Lee, and says, "Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and just stay over here on Indiegogo," and kind of stayed there for a little while. And it basically became the home of the Comicsgate people. Not that you couldn't go to Kickstarter. It was just Mike Miller had a great example there. He was trying to put on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the original Lone Star. Tried to go over there, and they denied him. Again, I think it had to do with the MS-13 people at the very beginning of the book. There, they didn't want to have that on their platform. And they can do whatever their platform they want, but they're going to be missing out on some money. So that didn't work out. I think he tried again with one of the other books. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was the kids' book. I want to say like Bless This Mess or something like that. Tried that. Didn't really bring up a whole lot of backers on there. I don't think it got funded. Bear said at the time, "Hey, you want to come on over to Indiegogo? He'll back it on there." Never did. So it kind of became the thing where it was like, okay, there's not really a whole lot of either Comicsgate people on Kickstarter or just general people on Kickstarter that would be interested in Comicsgate. I don't think that's the case now. I think that if you just generally have your platform out there, whether it be on um, Instagram, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be here on YouTube, kind of directing people, funneling people, I should say, towards where. And Kyung Lee actually came up with a good concept. I think he's missing out just kind of on one slight thing there, but kind of came to call it the point of sale would be Indiegogo. So you're trying to direct everybody from Instagram, Twitter, here on YouTube, whatever, to the one site, whether it be Indiegogo or maybe you've got your own site like Kyung has. I think it's what's the name of it? Etsy. It's his own little thing there that he's able to sell. Oh, pins or prints and stuff like that. I think he's got the little challenge coin there as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I think trying to get people on Kickstarter might not be the best option, but let me just click off of this and I'll show the good book because I do believe Gary, if I'm not mistaken, also put Titan on Kickstarter. I think it wasn't the deluxe edition here. It was I think it was just the individual chapters that he had there that he was putting out there. And I don't know how Gary did. I don't know really how well the Kickstarter kind of turned out for him or anything like that. But where Beer kind of comes down on this, in one side is the creators out there don't really have any place to tell another creator where he can or can't um, place his product. I don't think it's a good idea to put it on Kickstarter. Let me just put it that way. I don't think it's a good idea to put your Comicsgate comic on Kickstarter. But if you think that you have an audience there, other creators can go pound sand. They don't have any say in whether or not you can put it on a platform or not. Um, that is the creator side, and that's where Bear would kind of come down on the creator side. Um, the whole thing missing from the whole entire conversation. I don't know how far we want to get into this, but the whole thing missing from the entire conversation was it was creator based. So never once in the videos that Bear listened to, let's see, Malin, Uncle E had his little thing. Let's see, Kyung Lee was talking about it. Eric Weathers, Eric Letters too much. He was talking about it. I think there was another one or two that was talking about it as well. Um, they were all creator focused. Um, how, as a creator, can we get either more customers, or will the customers on Indiegogo follow us over to Kickstarter? Will the customers on YouTube go over to Kickstarter if we have a special print or something like that there? Will they go over to Kickstarter and frequent there, or should we put stuff, just keep it on Indiegogo, that sort of deal? Never once in any of the multiple hours of programming that Bear listened to, never once did anybody talk about one of the other flip side of everything would be the backers. Never once was the backers' thoughts brought up. It was always, how do we get more? How do we get more? How do we get different? How do we get people over here? How do we? Never once was it ever considered that the backers might either, hey, we like this, we don't like this. It was always left, and it's always left to the people with the super chats. Oh well, rah rah rah, we like this, rah rah. Well, the people with the super chats are a very small I don't want to call minorities, but a very small fraction of the total Comicsgate audience there. Whoever's channel you're talking about there. So never once did Bear hear any thought about, hey, what do the backers think? Hey, if we put something on Kickstarter, what do you guys think? Now, Bear can tell you right now, he's not gonna go over to Kickstarter. It's a non-Kickstarter for Bear. It's a non-starter for Bear. It's pretty easy. Pretty much from the very beginning, Bear kind of started off the channel, and it still does a little bit, as he came into it as somebody who wasn't very knowledgeable about comics, figured out some stuff about Comicsgate, talked to some of the people in Comicsgate, and says, "Okay, here's what this is about. Let me bring this to the oh gosh, should I say the N word? Should I go there? I hate this word. I really do. I don't like it at all. People talk about I'll say it very very softly here. Normies, the normies out there. I don't like that at all. It's a very pejorative word. Uh, when you're just talking about basically people that your general audience people, they might not buy every single issue or every single cover or anything like that, but hey, they're always interested in hey, let me check out this new thing. That's how Bear kind of came into it. So a lot of that is being lost on the creators. I think it's a little bit more kind of self-centered and, can I say selfish? A little bit of a selfish kind of situation that's going on there with that. When it's, you should really kind of go out and figure out where your audience is first before you start kind of doing stuff like that. Now, the other side of this, and it's not lost on Bear whatsoever. Um, very, very, very convenient that all this stuff kind of starts up when certain campaigns are about to start, or other campaigns, and Bear's not. Look, wants everybody to succeed here. Other campaigns are not doing as well as maybe the creator might have thought or something like that. So they need to kind of stir up some controversy, and it's basically you can kind of time your watch to this almost just a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, somebody's putting out a new comic. All right, here comes the drama. Here comes the drama coming along here. So I think this is kind of a worn out trope that keeps going through Comicsgate, that we need to have some sort of enemy that we're fighting against in order to promote the comics that are going on, instead of saying, hey, these are the comics, why don't you check it out? It should be some good stuff. Now, trying to fight against the, whatever you want to call it, the SJWs or whatnot. Bear's got to take a drink here. He's still trying to burp out all this barbecue that he's had. There we go. Where was Bear? I don't know. I'm going to read the chat here. Let's see. Yes, bless this mess. Thank you. But his MAGA book didn't really. Holy cow! The MAGA 7. I wish Mike would put out a sequel to MAGA 7. Kind of as like an alternate reality sort of deal. Like they save the day, and then something happens where they get sucked into our reality, which would be their kind of alternate reality. And instead of Trump winning, it's Asterix that won there, and I think that would be kind of an interesting kind of follow up. MAGA 7 was honestly a very funny book. It was really funny. I thought the Trump character was just great. Mike did a really good job with that. I wish he would make a sequel to that. I don't know. Karen America did pretty well on both. Okay. I'm trying to remember the artist that did that, because that's who did the Trump Space Force. I forget. Anyways. Yeah, I agree. It seems lately that the CG creators aren't asking the customers what they want as much as they used to. Well, let me read this. That is why Gary's putting out more Titan rather than Peckins Land, because he knows that the audience is more receptive to the Titan comic. Yeah, again, nothing against, and we'll get into that in just a minute here. I've been leaving it on the video here. I should. Hello, everybody. Yeah, and again, he's following out where his audience is. Now let me go back to the other one. Not paying attention to the customers as much as they were. Bear was listening to Art. Speaking of Art, RT Bear the other day. He was doing I think it was last week, talking about, and it was a different. They were talking about something completely different. It was I believe freelancers or just general artists, or in his case, inkers out there starting out many years back. He was talking about when he kind of first got into the game, as it were. Tim Lim, thank you very much, Tim Lim. Where's Bear's head these days? So, anyways, he was talking about kind of coming into the business, and how kind of a lot of it was very, very kind of cutthroat. So if you came in and you says, hey, I'm willing to work for this much, and oh well, we're not going to pay for that. You need to work for much less, and oh well, I can't work for that much. Well, we got 100 other people that would do it instead. So he had to go through some stuff, and ended up kind of figuring out the system, and basically the company was keeping silent what they were kind of paying the different people there. So he's like, well, we need to kind of talk about that, number one. And then he was kind of getting into sort of, I think his point was a union. So like an inkers union, or a pencilers union, or a colorist union, or something like that. I think he was kind of more going for like a guild rather than a union, but same difference, more or less same difference there. Talking about that, and trying to leverage the company, saying, okay, artist over here makes this much, artist over here makes twice as much, and artist over here makes half as much. Why don't we just keep it, at an even amount? Everybody knows what the pay scale is, and we can kind of go from there. And we can also use a little bit of collective bargaining, but I mean that wasn't the main focus of what he was talking about. But going through all this Kickstarter stuff, what kind of coming back to what P-Money was saying, not listening to the backers as much as they used to. Um, maybe it's time to kind of start. I don't know what you would call. They have like a in the movies. They have, of course they've got the Actors Guild. They've got the Writers Guild. They've got the Directors Guild out there. But you know what? They also have the Producers Guild there as well. And, I mean, not everybody thinks about the Producers Guild out there. Think more about the artists and actors and that sort of thing. But they do have a Producers Guild, which would be kind of very much similar to what we're doing here in Comicsgate, which would be, we'd call it the Backers Guild. So when Comicsgate kind of started out, and P-Money can kind of verify a lot of this, it more or less started out, like your boy Zach, kind of talking about comics. It was a critic based movement at first. They were critiquing the old comics, Marvel, DC, others. Hey, you're getting too much woke stuff in there. Why don't you cut back just a little bit of that? Or, if you want your woke stuff, put it in this comic, but leave alone, Superman, Batman, whatever the case may be. You know, it started out there. They were critiquing stuff. Your boy Zach says, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and make my own comic. Forget about complaining about this. Let's go ahead and make our own comic. So then it sort of kind of shifted over from a critique base to a creator base. And that's basically where it's been stuck for, I don't know, 2.5, maybe 3 years or so. You've got a lot of the creators out there that are putting their hand on the scale and not really. It's hard to say. Well, let me just put in nothing against Cyberfrog or anything like that. I'm not making a complaint about that, but let's just say somebody wanted to make a complaint saying, "Hey, you know what? It's been a year and a half since Cyberfrog was supposed to come out. You promised us it was supposed to come out within a year. It's been over a year. It's been almost a year and a half. We haven't seen anything from it. It's hard for a single consumer, unless he bought a lot of stuff. It's hard for a single backer to make much of a change as far as that. Might make a stink about it in the comment section. Might make a video on the YouTubes. I'd never want to do that here on the channel. Um, trying to say, hey, we want to go ahead and get out, where's this book? Where's this book at? But if you had some sort of a collection of people, a guild, if you will, of backers out there, might say, "Hey, okay, we were promised this." I'm just using Cyberfrog's example here. Nothing to complain about. Just talking about it. I mean, it's a fact. It's late. Say, "Hey, if we haven't had the book by a certain amount of date, um, let's just say there's 20 of us or 40 of us or 50 or something like that. If we don't get it by a certain date, we're going to go ahead and refund." Now, one person, excuse me, I'm still burping on this freaking barbecue. Beer in the barbecue. He gets to a point, he tries to make a point, and burp, 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 burp. All right. Where was he? Where was Bear? Anyways, so he was talking about trying to get a number of people together to say, hey, individually we might not be as effective, but group-wise, if all of a sudden you see 50 people refunding your book because it hasn't come out in a timely manner, I think that's would start ringing a lot of alarm bells there, and I think that would be a little bit more effective. Bear's not suggesting, not wanting to try and start anything or lead a movement or anything like that. Just kind of coming up with some ideas as far as how to get it back to the sort of customer, consumer, backer, however you want to describe it, get it back to, let the pendulum swing back the other way. I think it's been too far along as far as the creator base. Not to critique or complain about that, but it seems to take up a lot of the oxygen in the room. So trying to be able to kind of bring that back around, get a little bit more on an even keel there as well. I think that would solve a lot of problems. I think the other solving a lot of problems would not be trying to go out and start a bunch of BS with other channels or stuff like that. Was seeing a lot of the stuff with the Fandom Menace people and kind of, the sort of back and forth between the Comicsgate people and the Fandom Menace people, and it's like, look, we were talking about Zack Snyder just a minute ago. I mean, that was a whole complete cluster, what there, as far as the situation with Zack Snyder trying to come over and kind of poach or do some stuff there with the Fandom Menace, and then basically basically said you're a hat group as well, and some of the people that were on the chat kind of deer in the headlights sort of situation, and that wasn't a good look. Bear was right there. Hey, geeks and grifters, all that sort of stuff. So, but at the same time, I think when you have 80%, 90%, 95%, common ground there. Starting fights with other people, starting fights with other channels, calling them zeros and stuff like that, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody other than try to start up a bunch of controversy, and it might help out, with a new book or something like that. But in the long run, it doesn't really. I think a lot of the Comicsgate people need to figure out that we have more in common with the Fandom Menace side of people, and Bear can kind of understand. Hey, why are you complaining about, I don't know, whatever, Star Wars, complaining about Marvel, complaining about, you take your pick as far as whatever movie's coming out. Oh, okay, we watch this, we hate watch it or whatever, it's stupid, don't go watch this movie, but for my channel, I have to watch it. I do have to watch it. Well, no, just say, yeah, look, we saw the other movies, they suck. I'm sorry, they stink. We saw the other, the WandaVision, so why is Loki going to be any good? It's not. So, what, just the best thing is to ignore them. I mean, somebody trying to, attract attention. The worst thing that can happen to them is not giving them any oxygen. I don't want to say that. Not giving them any attention. If they were a fire, not giving them the oxygen to grow there. All right, let's see. P Money says Zach even did that. What am I saying here? Zach even did the needle thing before he did his campaign. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there, P Money. I'm sorry. At this point, me buying Cyberfrog 3 completely depends on how Cyberfrog 2 is. Bears with you there. I'm tempted to get Knife Hand, but it's hard when I still don't have Jawbreakers 3. Yeah, Bear never got Jawbreakers 3, so I can't tell you the situation on that one. Got 1 and 2, but never got 3 there. So I hope that comes out. I checked out Knife Hand the other day. Ended up doing the campaign review for Earthbound. Normal's a great creator. It's good to see. It's good to see. I think the best thing that's kind of come out of Comicsgate isn't giving new life to the creators that came from Marvel or DC or something like that. I think the best parts of the Comicsgate movement is all the new people that are coming in. I mean, we can go down the list. Narwhal, Kyung Lee, Matt Weldon, Matt Clausen, who am I forgetting? Jerkmonger, Kevin Sharp. I can go down the list, but there you go. I mean, you've got a number of great upcoming artists that the way that there was something that was going on that Bear was actually going to talk about if he was on last week. There was an issue with the Comicsgate Alive. Apparently that has been copyrighted. I don't know how that's been copyrighted. So one of the things that Bear was going to do was instead of doing Barely Live, he was just going to jump right into it and say Comicsgate Live right here on Bear's channel. Just for the hell of it. But anyways, the Comicsgate Live thing, I mean, it started out bringing in a lot of great people. I mean, originally, believe it or not, Gary Shipman was on some of the very early Comicsgate Live shows. A number of great artists out there that the Jerkmonger as well, that were on that and aren't being promoted there because it's just kind of a sort of, how do I put this, kind of a friend group of already established artists, and it's just kind of an echo chamber. Actually, I gotta give props to John Malin. I mean, at least he's kind of picked up the baton there and is bringing on more of the lesser known, I suppose, artists out there, and kind of promoting it out on his channel. So gotta give him a shout out. Roscoe, good to see you here. Good to see you here. Let's see. Move the needle was a hash. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sometimes Bear gets into it and doesn't see the tree through the forest there, or the forest through the tree. I don't know how that goes. Move the needle was a hashtag exacted to get people to promote what mainstream comics they liked. Well, how many books would that be? Like 3, 4? Maybe some of the older books there, but I think part of the issue is trying to get approval of the industry that you either left or maybe you weren't part of or anything like that, but the industry that is dying, trying to get approval of all these people that are on a sinking ship or fleeing a sinking ship and trying to get their approval. Why? We went through 2.5 years of the comics industry is dying. This is why we have Comicsgate. So you can come over here to the independent side. Look how good we're doing. Look how bad they're doing. Don't you want to be over here? I think when you go back and try to find, they're trying to bring in a couple people, and it's like, I think we're kind of diluting down the Comicsgate sort of brand, if you will, trying to bring in all these people. It just, it's not working. I don't think not working. So, actually, Move the Needle was the very first tweet I ever did. Well, you know what, Peabody? Bear has never tweeted, so I don't know what that would entail. But congratulations, very cool, very cool. Let's see, what is that? P dollar. Oh, P dollar. P money. There we go. Okay, I was like, what the heck? There's a gate of comics. There is. There is an actual. We need to actually. Golly, I've been. How long have I been on? I've been on a freaking out. Well, 45 minutes, and I haven't even gotten to the review that Bear was going to do. We got talking about controversies and all this other stuff. Anyways, I just I wish that they would reach out or look out to some of the more independent comics creators first, and then just kind of generally the backers as well, and kind of figure out what's going on there rather than trying to get. I mean, I wish them all the best and everything, but $500,000 to raise to get he's gonna call it a toy, I guess, action figure, a Cyberfrog action figure. I mean, again, I wish Uncle E all the best. I hope it works out, but I don't see very many people. Well, I don't know what the audience is for that. I think it's kind of weird. So, anyways, that's that. Anyways, let's get into it. It's been long enough. Long enough. Got 2 books. We're doing it head to head here. Star Blades and Titan. Mouse of Might. Number 2. Number 2. Talking about Gary Shipman versus Kyle Ritter. I gotta take a drink here. Parched. Parched through it. Comicsgate sounds like a comedy show from the Nixon era. Come to think of it, that would probably be pretty good. All the Comicsgate I've seen is sit-down clowns and not stand-up comedians. Yeah. Well, one of the things that actually, I got to talk about that real quick, just very briefly. One of the things that the Bear notices is the sort of death of comedy. Just generally. I mean, you try to go find a good comedy thing, and it's usually more of a lecture than a comedy show or something like that. Actually, Bear has kind of been watching some of the older Rodney Dangerfield stuff. He's actually got a channel on YouTube. Well, not him. He's been long gone, but they've got the Rodney Dangerfield channel on there, and so one of the things that Bear's trying to do, I tried to do it at the very beginning. I think we got kind of sidetracked and everything, but trying to do 3, 4, 5 minutes of nothing but just kind of fun stuff, laughing kind of comedy sort of situations there, because look, we can talk about. We did it in the last show, the last live show that Bear did. We did a whole thing on. Man, look how many times they flip flop between the 2 weeks that Bear did this show about the mass and everything. We're doing that. What can you say on YouTube? What can't you say on YouTube? That sort of deal. You don't want to do all the heavy stuff all the time or anything like that. So you want to do some funny stuff. So yeah, I mean that's what Bear tries to do is try to have, you know, I hope whenever anybody watches one of Bear's videos, I hope you at least get a little bit of a chuckle out of it somewhere, even if it's laughing at Bear, doing something stupid or falling on his face or something like that. I hope at least have a little bit of fun there. So yeah, it doesn't always have to be dour stuff, and you know what? It doesn't always have to be laughing, at another person. We talked about the sort of controversy between all this sort of stuff. You always need a target. You always need an enemies list somewhere. No, just have fun. Sell your book. You don't need to do that all the time. So, anyways, I just want to mention that. Speaking of campaigns, is Doug TenNapel ever going to launch Bigfoot Bill 3? I don't know. Never got, well, the whole Doug situation. We don't need to go through the whole Doug situation. The only reason that Bear didn't get Bigfoot Bill 2, even though he was a big supporter of the first one, what he did in the second one was basically add more pages to the first book. So you had to repurchase the first book to be able to get the entire story out of the first book. That was Bear's complaint whenever he did the review of Earthwind, what am I trying to say? Bigfoot Bill. It didn't bring out the main character. I believe the Moth guy, the Mothman, or something like that. He was just kind of pigeonholed in, and unless you got the what was it called, the sort of supplemental book that came with it, you really didn't really understand a lot of the backstory. So they kind of added a whole bunch of pages to that, and it's like, well, I just got the first book, and now you're adding pages. Yeah, it didn't sit well for Bear. In addition to all the other stuff, didn't want to ruin everything for that. But yeah, there you go. All humor is evil, Bear. The world is miserable, and you must be too. Bob Nielsen is on YouTube. From when he was on Dangerfield. What a funny guy. There you go. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff where it's like the older stuff, like the Carson Show and some of the other stuff that's just, I mean, sure, there might have been a political thing here or there, but usually it was just, kind of, let's just make fun of everybody, and, find humor where humor is allowed, rather than, trying to go down this little narrow path where it's just, it's more bitter spite than evil stuff. Yeah, or evil stuff, funny stuff. Well, evil stuff too. I love watching Andy Kaufman video. Didn't really watch too much of Andy Kaufman. I think that's kind of an acquired taste a little bit there, but that's all right. That's all right. Andy Kaufman's fine. I'm not saying anything bad about that. All right. Finally, gotta get to this. Titan, House of Might, Volume 2 versus Starblades. I'm probably going to be rushing through this because I've been going for about an hour, and I'm just running out of water here, too. I've been running out of breath, so just kind of go through it a little quickly. And if you got any questions, Beer can always talk about that. Titan, and I wish I would have scanned some of the stuff in. I scanned some of the stuff from Starblades, but didn't get Titan. I guess I can show a page or two out of it here, just so people can kind of see if you never got Titan or anything like that. This is the. Let me tilt this over here real quick. Sorry, everybody. There we go. Hope that didn't make it too loud. One of the things that Gary did was offer a deluxe edition and then offer the sort of regular editions, which kind of came in your sort of traditional. I believe I never got it, but it kind of came in the traditional comic soft cover, if you will. So this is sort of the very nice deluxe edition. Pay no attention to the backing back here. So anyways, just so people can kind of just take a gander here real quick, because Bear didn't scan this in, so he's got some stuff like that there that Gary did. Very nice stuff. Let's see if I can set it here where we can show some of the artwork. I don't know if it'll do it there. Nope, I don't think it'll do it. Anyways, that's what the artwork was looking like. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. And if you were lucky enough, it's not in this book, it's in the other one, but you actually did kind of a remark on there. Did a really nice job. So if you get a chance, go check out his channel and some of the nice artwork in there. But anyways, let's see, Titan, Mouse of Might, book 2, kind of continued with the story from Titan 1. So kind of a mouse out of kind of I don't know, a different dimension or different realm, I suppose. Kind of comes to modern day Earth here, and he becomes a, I don't know how you would describe this, a Batman mouse, a Bat mouse, no, not a mouse man, a Bat mouse. We'll just call him a Bat mouse. Oh, page 149. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, let me do that. Uh-oh, am I not doing the, uh-oh. Okay. Well, hopefully, yep, it's done. Hopefully we'll get through this. Hey, if the stream is going out, just type in, what do people normally do? F? if it's buffering for you guys, just hit F on there. Let's see, page 149. Bear with me here. If I can find it here. If I can find it, only because P Money asked. Let's see, you said 149, right? 149. There we are. Pretty cool. Let's see, there we go. Ah, dang it. There we go. So this is all the stuff in the back of the book. If you got the deluxe edition, he kind of included, hey, there's something from Elliot Fernandez. There we go. The Jerkmonger. There we go. So he had some nice additions. I think he added some fan art in there as well. So there you go, P Money. Let's see. Pardon me. I've got to figure out if this is P Money's finger is on the F button. Oh my goodness. Why is this? There it goes. Well, it's a little bit behind, but there you go. I think it's back. Nope, there it goes. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, well, I'm going to power through this and we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But, Titan Mouse of Might, very quickly. A really great story, and as you can see there, some really great artwork from Gary. He always does some great stuff there. His is going to be a little bit different than Starblade's because it's black and white instead of color, but everybody's got their different styles and everything. I think Gary is kind of settled in and doing a great job with the styles that he's kind of come up with there. The other thing is basically he has a very good, compelling characters, even for a mouse. There. Some really great. I've got no data. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Let me see if it's error. Maintain stream smoothing. Oh boy. Alright, well everybody, I think this is kind of cutting in and out on Bear. Let me just do some buffering issues. Yeah, I think it's saying poor for me. So hopefully this is kind of coming through. If not, we are having some buffering issues on here. So I think, you know what, guys? I think that we might as well go ahead and do a Titan versus Starblades back-to-back issue the next time if we can do that, because it doesn't seem like it's holding together very well here. Let me go back to the. Yeah, it's not doing very well here. Not very well at all. Okay, alright everybody. Well, P-Money's finger is on the F button. Oh, there we go. Oh, of course. Now it says excellent. There it says excellent. Okay. P-Money says, no problem. Do what you need to do. Well, of course, when I'm about to kind of quit, it says it's excellent condition. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think do this Titan versus Starblades the next time, or would you guys like to maybe try to power through this? We'll see. It says excellent condition, but you never can tell. Oh, you never can tell. Oh boy, oh boy. click on that. Yeah, it's down. It's down. It's not streaming here for beer. So, all right, that's what we're gonna do here, folks. We're gonna have to probably call that. Let me type it here in the chat, but let me go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna wave. Hopefully that. Nope, it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. All right. It is of bad stream. Oh, of course. Now P Money says power through it. If it doesn't work, do a recorded video. I might do that. I might go ahead and do that, P Money, as just kind of a head to head here. I think that would work because right now it's kind of coming in and out. And the woods. This is what happens when you're out in the woods and stealing Wi-Fi. So all right. Well, hey, P Money, thank you so much for stopping by. Roscoe, I'm sorry that this kind of crapped out on us here at the last minute. Just what he was going to do, Titan, here, I tell you what. So we will try to do this on Saturday. Hopefully, be able to get a little bit better of a connection here. So do appreciate everybody that stopped by. Do appreciate everybody that's came through over the past couple of years. We wouldn't be here without you. Wouldn't be here without you. So thank you, everybody. I'm just going to take that. Thanks. Oops. Thanks, everyone. All right. Well, we will see you the next time. Take care, everybody, and hopefully you have a great week here. Take care. All right. Grrrr.